Mahali Mahlala from the Competition Commission. Thanks for your time tonight, sir. Firstly, let's just begin with how exactly you're amending this complaint. There seems to be a lot of confusion, especially about what your next step is.
Good evening. The Commission is not amending its complaints. The complaint referral is very clear. All the banks that we have cited in the complaint referral, we are still charging them as things stand. We have not at any stage, at any time, made any decision that we are amending our charges against the banks. The charges remains. The stories about the Commission amending the charges against the banks are absolutely untrue. So we want to make it very clear that the charges against the bank, as filed in February, remains. There's no bank that we are removing. The thing that we need now is for this matter to go on hearing so that the merits of the case can be heard in public, where everyone can hear what actually transpired in as far as the rigging of the rent is concerned.
So then where do you think the information comes from in terms of the fact that you're making changes? Because this is a statement that was issued by one of the banks.
Well, we don't know. We don't know. We think maybe they misunderstood what the competent tribunal said, which was that on Friday last week there was a pre-hearing to look into exceptions that were filed by the 14 banks. The tribunal said that because the matter cannot be heard on the same day, all the 14 of them, these matters must go back to the Commission, and the Commission should now enroll each matter as it sees fit. So we are saying, as the Commission, we are going to approach the tribunal to roll all the matters that are before the tribunal for hearing. And these are the exceptions, and we are saying these exceptions are actually technicalities that banks are picking, and we want these technicalities to be disposed of quickly so that we can go into the main matter, where we want banks which, as we speak, have not answered to the case that we are charging them with. So there's no way that we have said that we are going to be amending, we are going to be removing certain banks from the charge.
There's also an impression that has been created that during your investigation so far, you've then taken a much softer stance than you had before on these allegations because of what you've been able to uncover. Is that the case?
No, we have thoroughly investigated the matter. We have put the case against the banks before the banks, and we are really saying we want the hearing so that the banks can defend themselves if they want to defend themselves, so that the matter can be resolved.
And when exactly will this matter then be heard?
That's what we are approaching the tribunal, and we are saying that the tribunal must set down these matters so that they can be heard. So the issues that are causing confusion in the public domain can be cleared.
So the issue you think that resulted in the confusion is the fact that there are no finalized dates as yet, whereas before I believe that you were working on June 23 as one of the official dates.
The June 23 date has always been problematic because it's the date that was set without knowing what kind of exceptions the banks will be filing. But after the banks have filed the exception, it becomes very clear that that date cannot work because you can't hear 14 cases on the same day. That's why we, as the Commission, approach the tribunal and say we want to set these matters down as soon as possible on separate dates, because the date of June 23 is not going to be possible, it's going to be impractical. These banks are raising different issues that we want to deal with them separately. So you can't have them in one hearing.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on tonight and setting the record straight for us. Mahali Matlala from the Competition Commission.